Welcome, everybody, to PWF is War Podcast Wrestling Fallout. I am Paul Jaser, your host tonight, a.k.a. the Arabian Wolf. Long anticipated interview. We've been waiting to get him on the show. Fans have been asking for him. It's been a long time coming, and I'm honored to introduce David Finlay Jr. David, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there, man. Honored to have you on the show. Thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to jump back to David in a second. Before we do that, I just want to do a couple quick plugs. You could subscribe to us on YouTube at Podcast Wrestling Fallout. Follow us on Twitter at PWF is War, or find us on Facebook or like our page, join our group, Podcast Wrestling Fallout. I'm going to jump to the PWF is War crew, let them introduce themselves really quick, then we'll get back to David with everybody's questions. Billy, go ahead if you want to introduce yourself real quick to the fans.
Yeah, I'm Brickwall. You can follow me on Twitter at Brickwall860. Ask me questions if you got any tonight for Dave Finlay.
All right, sounds good. Piero, you out there, man? What's going on?
Yeah, you know where to find it. Just on that PWF Twitter. If you got any questions, send them out. Don't hesitate. We'll answer everything you can in the time being.
Awesome, thanks. And over to Adam now.
Yeah, I'm here. Ready to get the show on the road, you know. It's good to be here. Dave is here, so yeah. But you can, if you want to follow me on Twitter, if you like me, yeah, Captain Free Austin. Yeah, just follow me there, pretty much.
All right,
yeah, that's all I gotta say. Yeah.
Check out Adam on Twitter, no doubt about it. He's a cool guy. Let's jump right into the show. Once again, I'd like to take time out to say thank you, David, for making it. Billy, you want to start off the questions?
Oh yeah, sure. Trying to remember.
If you're not ready, I'll go ahead.
No, just come back to me after.
he's got something stuck in his throat or something. He can't.
Technical difficulties when we go live. That's right. One question I had, being your father is Finlay and all. Growing up in the wrestling business, I did see the documentary and things like that. It must be very cool to have a father like that, grow up in the business. But are you one of those guys that encourages your father and goes behind him and stuff like that, or are you a guy that like kind of wants to trend on your own path, set your own path?
I guess it's a bit of both for me. I mean, I literally grew up in a wrestling ring. I mean, there's pictures of me before I could even stand on my own. I'm holding onto a bottom rope. So I grew up in this business. This business has put food in my stomach. It's what I love to do, and I'm very, very proud of who my dad is. But in my career, in my eyes and in my opinion, my dad agrees the same. It's like my dad, his gimmick's already been done, you know. So for me, it's like I'm proud of who my dad is, but it's like I also want to be my own person.
Exactly, I agree. You embrace it, but you still want to make your own path. There are guys out there. Cody Hall, I'm a fan of his work. He's starting to get better out there, but very similar to his father's work, and he's not really breaking away from that. But that's something we'll talk about on a different day. Billy, you got your question ready?
Yeah, this is from Kayfabe. They ask, how does it feel to be a son of a future Hall of Famer? And also, will you see yourself on TV in the future?
What was that last bit?
Like on TV, like the years or something.
Okay. How does it feel to be the son of, I guess, my dad? I don't really know. I don't know what it is, son of anybody else. Like, I mean, my dad is my dad, and I guess what you guys would have seen on TV, it isn't really who my dad is. I mean, that's a part of him, that's a fragment of him. My dad's honestly the biggest goofball you could possibly meet, and I guess anybody that knows him would attest to that. But my dad's a pretty cool guy, and you know, I feel very privileged to be his son. And he's always one of the best dads. And then I guess being on TV, well, that's I guess down the road. Down the plan.
Yeah, definitely. Well, his name will eventually pop up in mainstream wrestling within time. Just give it a little bit of time. I'd like to point out real quick, you're actually doing a tour of the States right now at the moment. Is that right?
No, I'm about to go tour England.
Oh, you're going to tour England now.
No,
Any
good.
certain promotions?
Pardon?
Any certain promotions out there you're going to?
I'm working for Brian Dixon at All Stars Wrestling, if I remember correctly. So I'll be out there for 6 weeks in the camp. I mean, it'll be a lot of wrestling, but it's what I want to do, so I'm very, very happy about it. Actually, this Thursday to start.
Absolutely. Now, growing up in wrestling, as you said, you pretty much grew up in a ring, horse playing, learning from a great like your father, a great performer. You know, very explosive and aggressive in the ring. I'm a big fan of his. So, growing up like that, was wrestling something that always just came to you? Is it something you loved, or was it kind of like somewhat not? I wouldn't say pushed on you, but did they want you to follow that path, or was it always something you wanted to do on your own?
I guess dad always wants his son to be like, oh, you know, I want my son to be like me or whatever. But it was never pushed on me. Just from as long as I can remember, I've been wrestling, you know. And I love wrestling. I love every style of wrestling, as an amateur or professional. I wrestled in high school 4 years straight and literally did every tournament I could just because I loved it. But yeah, I grew up rolling around with my dad in the living room, and then once we moved in the house now, we got a ring, and it's we have a ring here, and my brother and sister so it's definitely a part of our life, and part of it.
All right, for sure, man. That's all I gotta say, man. That would be amazing. I wish my father was a wrestler, to be quite honest, but unfortunately, that's not the case. We'll jump on to Pierre or Adam if you guys got a question, or if you got a fan question for him.
Yeah. Well, I have a question.
Go ahead, one of you. Pick.
I'm going to go, Adam. Slide for a second.
Go on then.
Yeah. You know, being as a wrestling fan, just like the rest of us growing up, you had, like growing up in, like, the Attitude Era, the WCW Nitro. Did you prefer one over the other, WWE or WCW? And if you did, who was, like, your favorite wrestler growing up?
During the Monday Night Wars, I was, how old was I? I don't know, I was really young, and so I never actually got to watch it. So I'm probably one of the only wrestlers kids that never really watched wrestling growing up, except for the summertime because of school. My parents were like, oh, you gotta go to school, so go to bed early. But once I did really was, you know, my parents thought I was old enough to, you know, stay up and watch wrestling, I think the first person I really, really enjoyed watching as a wrestler was Eugene, which is strangely enough, but I found him hilarious. But I think I remember favoring WCW over WWF, completely based on I was biased because my dad worked for them. So I couldn't give a very educated opinion on that, but from a biased standpoint, I like WCW better because my dad was there.
Absolutely, that makes sense.
Kind of obvious, yeah.
Yeah, WCW offered a lot of great benefits that WWF didn't really have at the time. You know, their cruiserweight division was so innovative and breakthrough at the time. Nobody would have expected it to be that good, and I think that was one of their smaller features that really elevated their game at the time. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead, Dave.
I was saying I agree.
Absolutely, yeah. They were definitely breakthrough and innovative in their time. Piero, you got your question?
That wasn't my question. I think Adam's got one now.
I think it's my turn.
Oh, okay, we'll switch it up. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a question for you. What are your goals in wrestling? What do you want to achieve, like, down the line?
I guess to put it simple, I want to be the best at this, but I guess there's a lot of details that go with that. So right now, the goals for me is going to England, and I'll come back home in September, and then I'd like to go to Japan for a few years, because I really want to go learn that style, and you know, preferably work for New Japan. And the point being is, like, I told my mom when I was 11 years old, I was like, I'm not going to college, I want to wrestle. And I'm sticking to that. But my parents were like, okay, that's fine. You know, like, that's fine, but you're going to learn how to wrestle. So, you know, the deal I made with my dad was, okay, I'll go travel, I'll go to all these places instead of going to the development school right away, which, now they have a new facility, sounds fantastic. But, like, my heart's just not there right now. I'm like, I don't want to do that because once I'm there, I'm stuck. If you look at all the guys who are wrestling right now and have traveled around before and went to Japan, went to Europe, went to South America, you know, and wrestled around before they went down to the development school. In my opinion, they have the better work rate, they're the better workers, and for me, it's not about, like, oh, I want to make X amount of money. It's like, this is my passion. I want to be the best at it.
That's fair enough.
Exactly.
That's
It's
fair
all,
enough, yeah.
it's all about the passion. You could have all the skill in the world, but if you don't have the heart and the passion to back it up, it's not going to take you very far. When you mentioned New Japan, I'm also a huge fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling. You wanted to go and work there. You already said it's not about the money. What gravitates you towards New Japan? Is it the wrestling promotion in general? How they focus? They're more wrestling based, as people know. They're less with the entertainment. Is that what gravitated you there, or was there a certain guy that stuck out to you that drew you in?
Part of it is, I guess after I was born in Germany, by the way, because that's where all the German tournaments were.
Right.
My dad was wrestling, so I think a week after I was born, my dad had to go on a 6-week tour to New Japan, and they said, when he's ready, he's welcome home here. So 21 years later, I'm still there. The one thing that means a lot to me today, from day one, is, one day. But I just love that style of wrestling. I think it's very based, not so much of like I don't know how to explain it. I enjoy that style. I want to go learn that culture. I want to go. I enjoy traveling as well. As part of it, it's just like I want to see one part of the world.
Yeah, I think everyone does.
Yeah, traveling is probably the biggest asset when it comes to being a wrestler. Everyone you get to see the world, and at the same time you're living your dream. So nothing beats that.
Definitely if you're going to Japan. So,
yeah. All right, we'll come back to Billy.
Yeah. How's life on the road?
What's that? You say how's life?
Yeah, how's life on the road? Yeah.
How's life on the road?
Yeah.
I haven't had much road life yet. I mean, I moved to Africa for a year. I was on a mission trip. And that was life on the road for me, but that wasn't wrestling. So like it had its different ups and downs. But I enjoy life on the road because I tend to not like to stay anywhere for longer than like I get bored after like 6 weeks. It's terrible. But and right now it's just me. Like I've got no ties. I have no kids, no girlfriend, no wife, nothing like that. So I'm okay with bouncing around, traveling around, staying from place to place. That's actually what I want to do, just because I'm weird like that. But I really enjoy the traveling. I enjoy the late night drives and driving home all like tired, but whatever. Listen to my music in the car, and so I think later on down the road when I'm really on the road, I would hope I enjoy it. I think I would.
Yeah.
No doubt. You said before now you've been in the ring since you were a kid. You've wrestled numerous amount of matches. Was there ever that match that stuck out to you, like where you felt that you really improved and everything you've been working for is finally paying off? Something that really stood out to you, a certain opponent?
Is this professional wrestling?
Yeah, just wrestling in general. Whenever you felt like you had that breakout moment.
Well, I'll two-part that question on my own. In high school, one that stuck out for me was my senior year. Like I was probably one of the best wrestlers coming out of high school. 3-time state qualifier. I broke a lot of records. I have a lot of places in whatever. But for me, like the region tournament was such a big deal because like every year I kept getting fourth. So the year I was like, I gotta win this. So I ended up winning it. Like 20 seconds left by 1 point. I broke down and was just like looking for the long time. For me, amateur wrestling, that was it, where everything paid off. And in professional wrestling, I mean, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, so I haven't had one of those moments yet where I'm like, oh, it's finally paid off. I'm still, I still got so much ahead of me. But I think the match that meant the most to me was probably my first one, where I tagged with my dad. Well, actually, the second. But I tagged with my dad against Robbie Brookside and Danny Collins, who, when we lived in Germany, were guys that, when I was playing with Danny's kid, Robbie Brookside, I was convinced he was my brother. So it was just guys that we were always tight with. So for me, that was kind of like, the passing of the torch for my dad to me, just wrestle with these guys that I had known for literally 20 years.
Absolutely, and going back to your mention on amateur wrestling in high school, a lot of guys, some of the best of all time, guys like Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, people of that caliber, that's where they really started honing their craft, was in amateur wrestling, and when they brought it to the big screen, it really paid off. They were more well-rounded in the ring, they were a lot smoother, and they had better flow. So overall, it pays off in the long run, and it's a great way to start off if you want to get into wrestling. Definitely shows you the basics and techniques and things you need to know. But what do you want to do, Adam? You want to get another question going?
Yeah, unless Piro wants to have a go before me, but okay, I go instead. So yeah, my question is, so who would you like to face in a dream match? It doesn't have to be WWE. It could be anywhere you like. It could be any type of match, even. Right? So, who would you like to go with?
Alright, last time I got asked this question, I didn't have a very good answer because it threw me off, so I'm prepared this time.
Yeah.
I think my number one dream match would actually probably be against my brother. He's 10 years younger than me though, but I think one day down the road to have like a brother versus brother match would be pretty killer. For me that would be special. But also I've always wanted to do, obviously this opportunity's gone now, but I've always wanted to be like, I want to have like one of the Undertaker streak matches because I just I feel like it's just a huge honor and would be an awesome stepping stone in one's career, but sadly that's no longer possible. But I think in a perfect world I would have loved to do one of those as well.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Heyman says always repeats he's always conquered the streak, Brock Lesnar. So,
yeah.
Thank Brock Lesnar. Very much.
Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah. What kind of training do you do?
What kind of training do I do?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we have a ring at the house, so I'm in the ring a lot with my dad. So like we either go in there, and he just some days he's like 54, but he acts like he's 20. Because we'll be in there, let's start bouncing. He's like, all right, let's go and start. Let's start going amateur. I'm like, Dad, stop. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and he's going. Or other times it's just like, all right, what do you want to learn? Because I watch a lot of wrestling in my free time. So it's like, oh yeah, I saw this. How do you do this? And other times it's just like, all right, this is psychology. This is how you sell. This is, it's different every day. It's never like, okay, drills. Like, I mean, obviously I have all the basics done. So it's like, all right, it's not that. It's just like, all right, let's work on, psychology. Let's work on your aggression. Let's work on, let's try this. Let's, so it varies every day, and I tape all my matches. So like, if I have a match, watch it. All right, this is what I want to change. This worked. This didn't. What can we do different? So we really take it step by step. And as for the physical side of it, just go to the gym and train, lift weights. Need to do more cardio. I hate cardio, but it's like one of those things I struggle with mentally, but I do it anyways.
So, yeah, you have the passion, that's why.
Yeah.
Definitely a great training regimen. So many different factors play into a wrestling show and a wrestling performance in general. Your ring psychology, your spots. There's so many different things, and the snap of a finger, especially like guys in WWE and TNA and things like that, you mess up once, the whole world sees it. It's not like a movie scene where you get retake after retake and you have stunt doubles. So I feel the world of wrestling is actually very underappreciated when it comes to things like that. How do you feel about that when people say wrestling's fake or it's not real? Anything of that caliber, does it irritate you, or are you one of the guys that just brushes it off?
Yeah, it kind of does. It does irritate me a little bit. We're like, oh, it's fake. It's like, let's not use that word. It's just like, it kind of. I mean, yeah, it's not a legitimate sport like, for instance, like MMA would be, or since the World Cup's on, soccer would be. It's lost that. But what they did was they took a legitimate sport and they took, entertainment, whether it's theater or movies, whatever, and they combined the two. So you have something completely different that can relate to sports and also can relate to, entertainment, and there you have professional wrestling, because in my opinion, it's the best of both worlds. But like you said, actors have, they have multiple times to go, all right, let's get this right, let's get this right, let's get this right. Whereas athletes, they don't really have to worry about entertaining a crowd. They just go and they play, and whereas professional wrestling, it's like, yeah, you've got to entertain that crowd. You have to make it look legitimate, and you've got one shot. And if you mess up, you've got to improvise to kind of, cover up. So, it's honestly, for me, it's not as hard as it sounds. I enjoy it. It's kind of the thrill of it. It's like, oh, let's see what happens. What's the crowd reacting to? What do they like? What they don't like? Are they into it? Are they? There's a lot that goes into it, but it just kind of flows.
Yeah, definitely.
He's left. There you go.
What happened? You got booted for a second?
Yeah.
Because he was talking about wrestling is fake, and you know that's what happens.
Back.
Wow.
That was quick. That was
That's
quick.
good. Yeah, very quick.
That was quick. You hear us, Dave? You still there?
His camera's not on.
Give him a second to load up. Happens to me all the time too.
Yeah, but he comes back.
Just gotta have to believe. That's all. Unless you don't. Our first debut of interviewing an indie guy, and this happened.
It's normal. At least the show didn't crash, right? Keep your fingers
At least
crossed.
it was, you know.
I guess. Because Paul's hosting, this is why it went.
Oh yeah, it's my fault. Blame it all on me. Everyone put the blame on me.
Alright.
Why no one follows me?
No one blames
You there,
you.
David?
Keep telling fans on Twitter, don't follow me on Twitter. This is what
Right.
happened.
You there, David, or nothing yet? Let's give it a little bit.
It's probably because there was a lot of echoes, isn't it? So he's having technical issues. And he's gone again.
All right, better off.
Yeah.
Let him get out. Let him get out.
Sam said I killed Finlay. I killed him.
This is normal.
All my fault.
It's all because of the Bullets Club, so.
Alive. Brings you
Alright,
back.
close.
You have
Yeah,
one
look.
opportunity to do something.
Yeah, come on, Billy. Wait, how he's doing.
There we go.
Hey, I'm back. I don't know what happened there.
There.
You guys hear me?
Cool, man.
At least the Wyatt fam didn't take you.
Yeah, we got nervous. We thought we lost you for a second, brother.
Yeah, but no, what happened?
I was like,
That Wi-Fi.
Go ahead. You were just finishing up on your
Yeah,
thoughts on the fake wrestling idea.
Yeah, I just where did I leave off? Because I don't know when it dropped out. I was just like, oh, they're not responding.
we're not
You
ignoring
were
it.
going
Just,
into detail about how it was it's theater combined with wrestling. It's kind of like the best of both worlds, and you were talking about how actors get multiple chances to retry scenes and things like that.
Yeah, like for instance, like actors, they get multiple tries. All right, then they're like, okay, yeah, this will work. Whereas athletes, for instance, they don't really need to worry about entertaining a crowd. They're just like, hey, they came to see their team win. Whereas in wrestling, it's like, yeah, it's still that competitive aspect of it, but it's also entertainment. So you really got to, the two get combined, and you've only got one shot to do it. So it's like, you have that aspect of it. But that also, for me, makes it really enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more when you say it's the best of both worlds. I started watching wrestling when I was about 4 or 5, and I've been hooked ever since. It's kind of like it's a hard habit to break. It's kind of like my drug, you could say.
yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
It is, and it's just a sign that it doesn't get enough respect out in the community. You mentioned wrestling, and you usually get a negative reaction. And one thing that always stuck out to me was just like you said, we were talking about soccer for a quick second. There's so many bandwagon fans that are apparently there are a bunch of soccer fans. They hop on the bandwagon now, but there's no one that ever lies about being a wrestling fan, and that speaks volumes to me. But Billy, I believe it was your question.
Yeah, are you a lemon or a rosebud?
Oh, come on, please don't ask him that.
Hey, it's a question I got from a fan.
I guess-
Stupid
I guess-
fan.
I don't like being boring, so I guess I'll say I'm a rosebud.
You can't put him on the spot like that. Come on, Billy.
Hey, why don't you go yell at CM? Why don't you go yell at CM for that question?
CM Styles from Destroying Kayfabe. Thank you very much for telling your question.
Next time, don't send a question in.
All right. Enough of that. Let's get back to Billy and Piero or Adam. You guys got a question? Go ahead. Shoot.
Well,
Yeah,
Piero has an answer. So.
Yeah. You said you watch a lot of wrestling now. You're following, but WWE right now, who would you say would be like the person that stands out the most to you right now, and who would win this Sunday in any of the Money in Bank ladder matches if you're gonna watch that?
I think for me, my two favorites to watch work wise would be Cesaro, and I really enjoy Sami Zayn. Um, I, for me, they're very different, and they're very good at what they do. Um, and I don't know if I have. I would kind of like to see I would kind of like to see Roman Reigns win the Money in the Bank, just to kind of see a transition of like, a new face having the title. Um, and I don't know who I want to win the actual Money in the Bank. I don't know. I'm not too fussed about that one.
What? Come
No more
on. It's a magician. Come on, there's going to be a lot of high flyers going on. You got RVD, you got Steph Rollins.
There's gonna be a lot of crashing and burning in that match. That's definitely something to look forward to. I think it's gonna deliver more than people think it will.
Yeah.
I
I think it's going to be a good match.
Yeah, I was actually almost worried that they were going to not do the Money in the Bank like briefcase match, because I was like, that's the whole point of the pay-per-view, you know? I like that wild card in the show. So I'm glad they're still doing that this year, because I was kind of getting worried. They're like, oh, they're not going to have a title match. It's going to kind of not be as good this year. But I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah, it's a little less predictable than Royal Rumble has gotten over the years. Money in the Bank is definitely something to look forward to, and fans usually aren't expecting the winner. So I can't wait. And being Bad News Barrett is from England, and he did just recently get injured. They were mentioning about hanging the IC title next to the briefcase in that. So it's like a double header in one. In one.
Damn it.
That'd be interesting.
So Barrett's getting the bad news handle on this one. Sorry to say, but let's shy away from WWE for a little bit. Let's get back to David. Focus on him. And is there ever a time when you were wrestling where you just felt like something wasn't clicking? Like you ever felt like, I don't know how to say, like demoralized in a way, or just not on your game? How did you snap back?
Yeah, I've had a few matches where I'm just like, man, like my first match, like I honestly hate watching it. Oh my gosh, that was so. But I guess everybody's first match kind of sucks because you have absolute experience. But my thing is like, okay, as long as I'm better than that one, as a joke. But I actually am a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to wrestling. I really set high standards for myself. I'm very critical with myself. So but it's kind of hard to tell until after you see it because I'm doing it. I can't see it. But I can have an aggressive pace, and sometimes it doesn't always happen. It's being matched up with, and my dad just, no, you need to control the ball, no matter what, you need to control. So I'm slowly learning that. So I'm like, okay, I do know what. So I'm really learning that lately. In the pace of the match, I want it always being whether it looks like it or not.
Right. How long is it now that you've been wrestling?
Let me see. I debuted December of 2012, and then I went to Africa for a year, like a month later, and then I came back, and so I had about a year off. So if you want to count that, you can count that, but if not, then not. So somewhere between 6 months and 18 months.
Go on.
So somewhere between 6 months and 18 months, depending on how you look at it.
That's I find that kind of weird. Like you think of people that start wrestling. I wouldn't expect Africa to be a place to wrestle. What was that experience like?
Well, actually, I kind of fell into it. I was actually on a mission trip for a year, and then like the first 6 months I traveled around to like 7 different countries, and it was phenomenal. Then I was gonna move down to Cape Town, and there was not, like, for some random reason WWE was doing a tour in South Africa, so I was like, oh, I haven't seen my dad in 6 months, I'll tag along. So it was actually Justin Gabriel who was like, oh, you're moving here, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, I'll connect you with a guy, and he's like, do you want to go to wrestling school? I was like, yeah, of course, So I actually got plugged into a wrestling school down there with Sean Kuhn. You guys probably might not hear of him, but he was wrestling in Germany during the German tournaments. But anyways, real great guy. Really took me in, took care of me. I came in and I was rolling around with the guys right away. And he was doing shows. He does shows like every 2 or 3 months. So I was getting on shows over there. So that just randomly happened by coincidence, and it really made my my time in Cape Town a lot more fun because it was like I had wrestling twice a week. I would go, do the shows, and really got to connect with some awesome guys as well. And I really learned a lot down there, so it was good fun down there.
Yeah, it sounds like a great experience. I wouldn't mind touring Africa either. Go ahead, Adam, Billy, Piero, one of you guys got a question?
Yeah, I have one. I might as well.
Go ahead.
Like, since you said about you gone to different countries and different around the world, I mean, did you have any like favorite match out of them? Like, I don't know, tag match, singles match, basically.
Do you have a favorite match, or what are you asking?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've done 4-ways. I've done tag matches. I don't like 4-ways. They always feel like strange to me. But honestly, I just prefer single matches. I like watching tag matches, and I think that takes a lot of psychology and a lot of different psychology to learn how to become good at tag matches. I enjoy tag matches as well, but I think right now my niche is singles matches.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I for one too. I prefer watching a singles match even as a fan, not even as a wrestler. But that's different. It's different when you're actually in the ring too. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah. So, do you see yourself from Global Force Wrestling when it gets going in the near future?
I have heard about that here and there.
Yeah.
I'd have to see where I'm at and what the plan is and how they're doing as well. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely a great alternative to WWE and TNA. Upcoming, I believe January is supposed to be their debut time, debuting on the Country Channel, if I believe I'm right. But yeah, that's definitely something I would look into. The hype is there, so hopefully it delivers when they come. You mentioned you travel all over the place, places like Africa. You're getting ready to do a tour of England soon, and when you travel, are you traveling alone? Because that would suck. I feel like.
Yes and no. It's when I went to Africa, I was the only American on my team, but I met up with like 14 other people that decided to do the same thing. And then so I might travel to a place by myself, but I'm not traveling around that place by myself. I'm always with other people.
All right. Yeah, because I could say right now, I don't mind being alone, but traveling all over the world by yourself, I feel like it would get dull, even though you're getting to see all the great sights, live your dream as a wrestler.
Yeah, it's no fun if you have nobody to share it with, I think.
Absolutely. Is there besides your father, because he was a huge influence in your life and in the wrestling business, was there anyone else that really stood out to you, really supported you, and took you under their wing?
And there's a lot of people that have taken me under the wing. And I'm still pretty fresh into this, so there's still people going to take me under the wing. But I think one person that really, 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 well, actually two people that really just, I have the world of respect for. That really, I mean, maybe in their eyes they've really not done that much to me, but to me it means the world. Is Danny Collins and Robbie Brookside. I mean, they've always, taken good care of me and just, always been like, hey, you know what, anything you need, we're there for you. So to me, that means the world.
Yeah, support in the wrestling business is a much needed thing. It's very easy to get depressed and knocked off your game. But who else has a question, Billy?
I've got one.
Go ahead, Piero.
So as being a wrestler, what's like one of the hardest like moves that you've had done to you, like that gave you the most pain?
That's a tough one. I don't like bumping on the floor. So that kind of, but that's actually not too bad. You kind of, but I think the worst thing was I took an enziguri to the head, and he caught me in the head, and it just like I had a headache for like 3 days. And it was like, what the heck hit me? But I mean, it's really not like too bad. But I mean, if I had to say like, this was the most painful thing, was probably that. Or I ran into I took a boot straight to the face one time, and that also didn't feel good. But it's really like, it's there for 2 seconds, and then it goes away, so it's really hard to say. I mean, I've never had anything major happen to me.
Yeah. when you're in the ring and you're in the heat of the moment and your adrenaline's going, is there ever a time you got hit really hard and you kind of just brushed it off, you didn't feel it as much just because you were in that moment?
I think so. I don't know.
You were in the moment.
Yeah, that just
He
maybe I
lost his
did, maybe I
memory.
didn't.
It's gone.
Go ahead, Adam.
What a question? Okay. Okay. Yeah. What? Did you have any injury in the match or?
I think I either dislocated, jammed, or broke my finger a lot of times. That seems to happen to me a lot, but anything other than that, not really.
Oh.
In the wrestling business, you'll see things pop up here and there, negative feedback, promoters giving wrestlers negative feedback and vice versa. In your time wrestling for other promotions, has there ever been a time where you ran into a problem with a promoter or you didn't like the way something was going to go and you spoke your mind?
I mean, not really. I've never really ran into any conflict or opposition yet, and I'm sure obviously that will come. But I'm fairly easygoing unless I think something's just completely awful. I'll do it. But I'm still in this position where I'm still fairly. It's almost like not my place to say something, but
Right.
I know, okay, this is a terrible idea. And there's been times I have to be like, I'm not doing that. And it was fine, but I've never really ran into any problems.
Yeah, 'cause at the end of the day, some people consider it a job or a career, and when you're really going out there and you're trying to make this your life, it's actually like a lifestyle when you consider what you're doing in the ring and traveling to events and keeping yourself relevant on social media with the fans. And what's the hardest part about all that? Is there one thing that really gets to you sometimes, something that it really just grinds your gears?
Um, not something that really is, but it's more like me because I feel very critical of myself. I have this goal of so it's very okay, is what I'm doing relevant? Is it going to has it been done before? So it's just I want to bring something new to the table,
Right.
but I also want to bring something that's good quality and that is entertaining as well. Because it's there's but it's also I have a standard I set myself. Okay, uh, am I pleased with what I'm doing? So I think for me that's the hardest part is okay, I think I'm doing okay.
No doubt about it, man. That's a great mindset to go off. Billy, back to you. Do you have anything?
Well, yeah. Do you prefer heel or face?
I prefer heel. Completely honest, it's just for me it's fun, but I have heard much more.
You said before that you like to go back and watch your old tapes. Really pick out what you liked and what you didn't like, see what areas you need to improve on, and things like that. When you evaluate yourself, do you ever feel like you have what are your strengths and weaknesses in the ring? What do you think at this moment in time?
I think my strength is I'm a good wrestler, amateur wrestler. And I think that helps a lot because you don't see a lot of that, but it seems to go over well. It looks aggressive. I think my struggle is experience, which that comes with time. But I think I don't have as much experience as I would like to, and obviously that comes with time. But I think I'm on track with where I'm at, and I'm content with where I'm at, as long as I keep improving.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Piero's obviously vanished, so we'll be back to. There you are. Go ahead, Piero, if you got anything to ask.
What's I would say your favorite move to do in the ring?
My favorite move to do in the ring is I do a belly-to-belly suplex with a beautiful back arch that I learned in Greco-Roman wrestling, and I just follow it through to a pin because I don't know, I just like doing back arches and stuff like that. So anytime I can throw anything from, I jump on it. So, but I think that's my favorite thing to do. It's just because every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, that looked good,
Graceful.
You know, considering how much into wrestling you are and how big of an influence it has on your life, you know, it's wrestling 24/7. What do you like to do on your downtime, or what would you like to do if you weren't a wrestler?
I honestly don't know what I would do if I didn't have wrestling. I've thought of hours and hours about this. Like, oh, okay, if I went to college, what would I do? And I'd be like, I don't know. You know, so like, I have spent so much time thinking about what would be a plan B, and I cannot come up with anything, which is, I guess that's good, but it's also bad because I have like a serious injury. I'm just going to be a miserable person, you know, because I can't wrestle. But what I like to do in my downtime is I watch a lot of World of Sport. That's what I do in my downtime, is watch more wrestling.
That's nice.
I'm the exact same way. You know, if I'm not working, 90% of the time I'm watching wrestling. There's not much of another direction to go in for me.
Sort of same with me, literally. But I got mixed with football as well. So.
Yeah, a lot of wrestling and soccer.
Yeah.
I'm more
That's
of a
enough for me.
You guys keeping up with the World Cup?
We don't have to talk about that.
Come on, what about England?
Germany's gonna win this thing.
Yeah,
I would like the United States to win, but they're not gonna. But
USA will go out eventually.
now they'll beat Honduras or Belgium, whoever they're playing, Tuesday, and that's they'll do.
Yeah. Be fair to the USA, they did well.
My pick, honestly, if I had to pick it, Germany.
Yeah.
Was that?
Germany will win it all.
I hope so. Like, I mean,
Not that I want them to, but they played the last couple games like no other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this one's full of surprises. So who knows?
Yeah, because who thought England, Spain, and Italy would be eliminated from the group stages?
I know.
I was happy about Spain. I don't like Spain, but I was like, oh, that's too early. But I was happy they're not in it.
It's either going to be Germany or the Netherlands.
Yeah, Holland have a chance.
The Dutch.
I think it's either Germany or Brazil. If Brazil doesn't win it, Germany will.
Yeah.
But maybe Argentina as well. Next, they got Messi. Yeah. Can't count that out. So.
That is true. But everyone thought Portugal was going to win because they had Ronaldo. So.
Yeah, but Argentina got a better squad than Portugal, so that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they only got Ronaldo. Argentina got many players.
Considering Adam's the soccer expert of this podcast, we'll let him go with the next question.
Right. Okay. Well. What's your favourite team? No, I'm joking.
Riveting.
This is okay. It's a wrestling question. So, who was your role model when you started watching wrestling when you were young? So, was it like your dad? Or...
What was that?
Who was your role model when you started watching wrestling?
Obviously my dad, but I'm gonna stay away from the dad answers because that's no fun. My role model. That's a tough one. There's a few guys. It's never been like one particular person. There's a few guys who I'm just like, man, this guy, you know, I want to be something like that. You know, whether it's his look, whether it's, you know, his wrestling. You know, so there's a good bit of people where I've been like, oh, this is cool. This is good. Obviously, two of them being, you know, Robbie Brookside, Danny Collins. But I think out of like WWE, I think probably my favorite, who I enjoyed the most matches out of was probably Triple H. I like his attitude. I like his aggression in the ring. I like his, you know, he just always has this like, okay, I'm angry and I want to hurt you, you know. And for me, it's like, you know, that's. You know, he makes it look competitive to me, and I think that's something where I really look out for is like, is this competitive? Do they really look like they want to, you know, beat each other? And I think anytime, you know, Triple H is wrestling, you know, he really steps it up and makes the other person step it up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Triple H goes out there and he puts on his game face, you know, it it's going down. You know, one of the best performers of all time, in my opinion. You know, great trash talker, great in-ring ability. He really was a total package, and he still is. You know, so I'm looking forward to see what we got coming from him. Hopefully, we get the Roman Reigns Triple H match that they've been speculating at SummerSlam. Is that something you'd be interested in, considering you mentioned Roman Reigns before?
I think so. I would rather see like I don't know, something with the Shield, but I think Roman Reigns kind of got bumped out of that picture.
Right.
But I mean, there's no telling what happens at SummerSlam. Regardless of what they put on the card, it's going to be a good show.
Absolutely, no doubt. I know everybody listening now and all of us here are definitely looking forward to it. So we'll jump back to Billy real quick.
Yeah, what promotions have you wrestled for?
Okay, I wrestled in Germany for European wrestling promotions or European. I don't know, what was it? I don't know. I'm having a brain fart right now. Which is really bad. Then I wrestled in South Africa for AWA, which is African Wrestling Alliance, and then in the States I wrestled for. I'm gonna just tell you my favorite one. It was named Southern Fried Championship Wrestling. I think it was my favorite name.
KFC.
Oh man, we know that promotion.
Yeah, we've actually, my show and my buddy's show, Destroying Kayfabe, have actually worked with some of the talents down there. One of their referees, I believe, was actually on the show as well. So they have a great promotion on there. They're doing big things, and they're really heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. You know, I actually just wrestled for them at their anniversary show, and there was like 10 matches, and I'm like, what the heck are they doing with 10 matches? But the crowd stuck into it to the very end, and I'm just like, they're maybe onto something. I don't know. But I think it's one of the top and better promotions in. I live in Atlanta, so in the Atlanta area, it's definitely one of the better promotions in my opinion.
Speaking of Atlanta, you know, I'm actually leaving for wrestling school myself in about 3.5 to 4 months. I'm heading down to WWA for Mr. Hughes' school. Have you ever been there? Have you ever experienced that place?
I've never been there. Mainly because, you know, why would I travel up to Atlanta when, you know, there's a ring at my house and I have my dad? But
Right.
I've heard lots about it, and pretty much almost everybody in Georgia has been there at some point, you know. So it's definitely like the school in Atlanta is like, you know, it's a big school from what I understand.
Yeah, I believe it has 7 rings, you know. Just like you said, everyone in just Atlanta and Georgia alone, it's like the proverbial threshold of wrestling. Everybody's been through the door and back, so definitely a place with some great credibility. Also is Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. They're doing great over there in Texas. But Pierre, if you want to get a question going.
Yeah, you ever like come around like areas around like, you know, New England, New York, those areas for promotions around there at all?
What was that?
Do you ever come around the New York area promotions out there?
Not yet. I'm open to wrestling literally anywhere it will have me. But I just haven't been able to set up yet. I have some connections that are trying to get me into New Jersey. And I think they're coming back from England. I'll be in like Kentucky and Tennessee and South Carolina. So far, it's like I've got a lot of places on the East Coast that are interested. It's a matter of my schedule and, you know, whatever works.
Mention your schedule. How busy is it? How often are you wrestling? Like,
But it's been pretty chill the past few months. I worked full time to the day. Like the rest of this year is gonna be pretty hectic. I mean, after 2 months in England, I'm gonna go visit my grandparents in Belfast for about a month. Which even then, I'll be wrestling every weekend, and most likely. For 3 months, have shows. Go to New Japan. That's pretty much my year until Christmas. So it's pretty hectic. So yeah, I'm not doing as much wrestling at home as I'd like to, but I am going to the places that I really want to be, so it evens out.
absolutely, that's awesome, man. You know, it's definitely one thing to do is a big piece of advice I got is work as often as you can, and it seems you're right on the money there.
Yeah, it's just something about it. Like I feel like every time I wrestle, I really improve a lot, in my opinion. And I guess my dad says, he's like, oh, you know, that's a lot better than the last one, a lot better than the last one. So I feel I'm improving with every match, so that's why I'm trying to wrestle as much as possible. Because like that experience, because I learn something new every time. Whether it's like don't do this or yeah do this or hey I match up really well with this kind of person or but it's all a learning experience right now, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Awesome. Yeah, you're living the dream, man. It's awesome. I hopefully I can say the same in a couple months when I head down to Atlanta. Do you have any upcoming matches booked? Any certain wrestlers you're going to a match with?
Um, Not I am booked on July 5th in England somewhere, and from then on it's England. But I have nothing in the States right now.
Is it like they book you and you show up and then you find out who your opponent is? Is that how it works?
Uh, Sometimes they'll be like, oh, you're gonna wrestle this person. Like, oh, for instance, I'm doing a show October 3rd in Chattanooga,
Okay.
and I know what the match is, but it has changed a few times, so it might not be that by the time it gets there. But I can't. I don't think I can give away any details, but it's a pretty big match. It's a 3-on-3, and that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, well, we'll be looking forward to it. We'll keep our ears open. We're definitely looking to hear what it's going to be. So that's good, man. Good for you. We'll head to Billy. You got a question?
I don't have any more. That's all the questions I had.
We drained Billy. Sorry,
Yeah.
Billy.
He'd be too focused on his dad in Japan. Sorry.
Pierre, Adam, you guys want to shoot off the rip?
I'll go with one more.
Yeah, I had one, but okay, Piro, go ahead.
What's your end goal for when it's all done? Do you want to end up in WWE, or do you want to stay like in the indie scene?
Definitely the end goal is WWE. But the reason why I'm doing indies right now is because, obviously I want to go down to Orlando to development school. But once I'm there, and I can't do what I want anymore. I can't develop what I want to develop, which is not a bad thing, but it's like I feel like I have a lot of growing to do, and there's a lot of knowledge to be gained by traveling around, winging it for a few years, really learning other styles before I go down there, because I am fourth generation, so I feel like it's kind of my responsibility to bring something new to the table and box. So WWE is the end goal, not in the near future, like for this year.
Yeah, I feel the majority of wrestlers you asked the question to, WWE is, the majority of them are going to say, WWE is their end goal, even for myself, Everybody wants, it's the big time, it's everything any wrestling fan wants. It's what they want from the time they're a kid. So, yeah, WWE is definitely the place to be. You're familiar with Ring of Honor. Is that a place you'd be interested in working in?
I would love to work for Ring of Honor. A lot of the matches, the past, I'm kind of hitting on this, but kept up with it lately, but a lot of talent has come out of Ring of Honor. I feel like it's kind of one of those places on independent where it's like, it's check off the list. Like, hey, I got to Ring of Honor.
Definitely. It's a big promotion, and honestly, they've been growing and growing and growing. The fan base is getting larger, and in my opinion, it's some of the best wrestling today in the world, besides New Japan. Yeah, Global Force Wrestling coming up on the scene. So there's a lot of good things to come for wrestling fans. This is actually a really good year for wrestling fans. So I'm looking forward to everything. We'll jump back to Adam.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a question. Yeah. So, besides wrestling, do you have any other hobbies? Like, do you have anything else?
I really enjoy watching MMA. I am a MMA fan. So like literally Friday night, I will sit down and we shows MMA like all Friday night. So doing tonight, watching MMA. So that's really passion, but I don't enjoy doing it as much as I do wrestling. So that's why I still wrestle. But I would say that's about it. It's wrestling and MMA is really my two passions, I guess.
Fair enough. Cool.
Is there any aspect of the business of wrestling, not just being in the ring, is there any other aspect you would like to dabble in, say commentary or editing? Is there anything else to learn?
I don't know, like I'm not opposed to really anything. It's like my heart is with wrestling. I like being in the ring, I like performing, but I feel like it's one big family, it's one big machine that works, and I feel like the wrestlers that are in the ring really, get the majority of the credit. But like, I mean, you got to think about it. You got referees that, your ring crew, you've got, your announcers, you've got everything. And it's like, I feel like if one of those was missing, you wouldn't have this fantastic thing we call, professional wrestling. So I'm not opposed to really any part of it, but my heart is with being in the ring.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Everybody has to pull their own weight just to make the overall show and performance deserving for the fans. So, cheers to that. Billy, Piero.
No, yeah. Do you feel like the independent scene is growing now?
Um, I do think it's growing, and from what I've looked at it, because I didn't really start following the independent scene until my dad got released from WWE for that. I think it was like 18 months or something he was gone. So because before, for me, it was just like, well, you got your few, old timers with like a mask and a beer belly wrestling in a barn with some really, really skinny guy, because that's really the reputation it had. But then my dad started wrestling these places, and the first match I really saw as an independent wrestling was Sami Callihan versus my dad, and that really, I think Sami Callihan is now someone in the crowd really kind of got me. I was like, wow, there's actually people that can wrestle that are not in WWE. So that was kind of the start of it. Was actually not too fast when I got into it. It was just like, man, there's some really entertaining people out here. So I do think it's growing. I think there's a lot of stuff opening up because WWE gradually, your independent guys up and make them into their own creation. So I feel like, there's all these spots that have now opened up for new people to come in, fill those, and hopefully for them eventually pick up that. I do think it's growing. I do think it's expanding, and I think it's almost making a comeback because people are starting to. There was a while where like, wrestling, but now it's back to. I think it's going back to where it's relevant.
Definitely, I think as of now, wrestling's actually somewhat in a, not what it was back in the day, but it is somewhat in a boom period at the moment. It's big. What are your thoughts on not just NXT, but the Performance Center in general and all the investments WWE has been making to develop new talents?
I am very happy about it because I will eventually go there and get to reap those benefits. But I think it's an amazing opportunity for anybody because I think they really are investing in like, hey, you get all the opportunity necessary and all the skills necessary to make you into something huge. I mean, they've got 7 rings. I haven't had the opportunity to go down and visit yet. It's definitely on the checklist to do this year. But I think it's a fantastic thing. It's awesome that they have NXT on the network. They're also running shows, and from what my dad says, is they're trying to branch out and kind of start running shows around the Southeast United States to the smaller places where Raw and SmackDown don't go, which I think would be fantastic as well. So there's it's really an awesome opportunity to go, and I am really looking forward to going there eventually.
Yeah, even myself, NXT is a place with they really turned it around from the time they debuted about 5-6 years back till now. It's completely transformed into its own brand, and it's really everyone's getting their name out there. Guys like Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, even Tyler Breeze, he's been impressing me lately. So there's a lot of talent down there, and I'm sure you're familiar with Kenta and Prince Devitt, Kevin Steen, guys like that who are transitioning into the developmental role and within the next couple months taking their spots as they move to the main roster. So the litany of guys down there is just phenomenal.
Great
But,
talent.
Go
ahead.
I was saying I agree. I think with the development thing is there's just they've got their own training center. They've got their own they've got 7 rings. They've got the medical staff there. Whatever. I mean it's an impressive facility, and I think it's a good investment for like, hey, what? I want to be good. I want that work. I think it's both ways. The talent and it's just.
Yeah, NXT and the Performance Center, they really harness all the tools it takes to make a great wrestler these days. So that's definitely a place I honestly see you ending up in with the heart and desire that you have. I wouldn't put it past you for a second. We'll go to Billy, Adam, Piero. What do you guys want to shoot?
got one. Yeah, I got a question.
Go on.
Yeah. Besides Abu Dhabi, do you follow TNA? And would you work there?
TNA.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. Where it's at right now, and not dogging it all, but where it's at right now, I want to go there. Because I feel like it's something completely by itself. And you know, I think they're trying to be like an imitation of WWE, or trying. I think they need to do their own thing first, and grow it first, because right now it's got to. But maybe one day I'm not opposed to it. But it's not where my heart is. You know, maybe like WWE somewhere else, Japan, you know. But it's just not one of those places where I'm really.
Yeah. They've got great talent there, but it's just the direction of the company going. You have Dixie Carter. You know, it's going to go downhill.
She's the main face on TV, so of course she takes the blame every week, but there's plenty of people backstage and internally within the business that have a huge influence on it that are also not delivering as well. So the blame unfortunately gets put on her, but it's more than one person that leads to that. But you mentioned before that your father was talking about them doing shows in the southern eastern states with NXT and things like that, branching off and filling the void where the flagship shows like SmackDown and Raw don't go to. What is your father's role in WWE at the moment? Is he a trainer?
He is kind of like a jack of all trades, to be honest with you. But I think his official, title was he's a road agent or a producer. So pretty much anything behind the scenes is him. He trains them on the road, always giving advice and stuff. I mean, like his job literally never ends when he's on the road. So there's so many things I could say he does that I don't even know he does, if that makes any sense. But he basically produces the shows and runs it and makes sure everything's in place and has to, So he's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders.
Once you hit WWE, you just turn into a workaholic and you're constantly working. You don't know when you're going to get home. How often are you able to see him?
His schedule on. It varies every now and then, but it's usually he leaves on Saturday morning, and he comes home Wednesday afternoon, something like that, depending on where he's flying from. So he's home, Wednesday, most of the day, Thursday, Friday, and then leaves again Saturday. One thing I'm really thankful for is, my dad has been able to separate work from home. So, like, when he's at work, he's at work. He's like, and that's how he's provided for us for as long as I can remember. So I'm used to that. I grew up like that. So, but when my dad was home, he was home. He was spending time with us. He was, like, hey, let's go do something. Let's go out to eat, whatever. So my dad's always been, when he's home, and that's something I've really had the privilege of having.
Yeah, that's definitely honorable. To be able to separate, work and personal life is, just from watching the wrestling documentaries. Most people actually didn't have it easy. I don't think I've seen a wrestling documentary that doesn't have somewhat of a sad story in it or something negative going on in their life, or hardship or pain. So that's awesome. I'm happy for you and happy for him that you guys can, still be together with you wrestling and him at the same time. That's just awesome. But go to Piero.
Yeah, you have like one of them pre-match rituals that you go through before a match.
Not really. I just kind of pace back and forth for a bit, kind of think through it, like calm my mind, just kind of be like, all right, I kind of get my quote unquote game face on. But I just, it's a different mentality because I'm a very relaxed, fun guy. I usually am the one making everybody laugh in the room. But when I wrestle, I'm very serious, very aggressive, and it's a part of me, but it's not who I am. So like I have to kind of get my mind into, okay, this is how would I react to this? How would I react to this? And just kind of go through like, what I want to happen in the match, how I want to come across, and just I just really, kind of go into my own little world for a few minutes to kind of think about it. And but I wouldn't say I really have any pre-match rituals or anything. Like I just take it as is,
We got a couple more questions in before we finish up here. Talk about like the pre-match rituals and getting yourself hype up and into the game. Going over the match with your opponent. From what you go over to what actually happens in the ring, how far does that vary from the game plan?
Well, it really depends on who you're wrestling. I'm the type of person that doesn't like going over every little detail. I would much rather prefer to like, we'll call it out there. Maybe here's the finish. Here's a cutoff, whatever. But like, I prefer to just go out there and let things take their course. Because I feel like it flows much better. I feel like better matches are produced that way. And because it is the game, you can do that. You have the liberty of doing that. So, like, for me, I prefer to just, because if you plan everything out and something doesn't happen, you tend to kind of get questions like, oh, okay, well, what's next? And it doesn't run on the same page, rather than, call it as you go.
Exactly, yeah. No doubt about it. We'll go over to Adam.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have like submission move? Give you a move set. No. I think he's cut off.
What was the question?
Does he have like a submission move in his move set?
Do I have a submission?
Yeah.
I'm actually very. I guess my finisher is a boss now. That's what he is. But they do tend to put in submission holds, and that's just how it also. I like that grappling sense of it. Especially because it's British wrestling, and that grappling and mat work. To me, that's the best wrestling ever. That era where it was because it was, it was legitimate. It was, and even to watch it, I was like, how on earth did you do that? Luckily, my dad was a prime person in the time period, so he can teach me these things and show me how it's done. The psychology of it. You're walking a very fine line between competition and entertainment. It's just, for me, that's what I enjoy doing. I do a lot of submissions, a lot of mainly because of what I do right now.
So,
Yeah, I'm very big on submissions too. I like submission specialists. Someone like Daniel Bryan was on the independent scene. I was really into his work and what he's done, and unfortunately he's injured at the moment. Hopefully he returns, and that's gonna be a great thing to see. He's gonna pop like crazy. Any last questions, guys?
Yeah. Do you see yourself as a Paul Heyman guy in the future?
Paul Heyman.
What was that?
A Paul Heyman guy in the future.
Maybe. I think that would be kind of that would be a good thing. I think everybody Paul Heyman kind of is an advocate for, as he says. He's get a big push and tends to go over really well. He's a phenomenal talker, and it seems to go well and it works. So I'm definitely not opposed to this either.
alright.
Was there ever a time where you had a certain match against a credible wrestler? Were you nervous? Is there ever a big name that you had to step foot in the ring with, go toe to toe with, that you were you felt questionable about?
No, I don't really get nervous. I'm fairly confident in the ring. Because that's where I love to be. That's the comfort zone, believe it or not, is in that ring. I don't really get nervous before matches. The only time I was really nervous was the first time came and watched me. It makes it sound like my parents. My parents are still but it's like I'll travel with my dad, or I'll be by myself. Just in the whole day was there because they're watching. I think it's the only time I'm nervous. Actually, when they're watching. I'm not really nervous.
Awesome, man. It's definitely a great mindset. I feel like I'd be really nervous for at least the first couple months going out there on my own, but to be headstrong like that is definitely what gets you going in this business, to have that type of momentum. Any last
Yeah,
questions, guys?
manager.
Yeah, go ahead before we finish off.
No, okay.
Piero, Billy, got anything real quick before we go?
We covered a lot.
Oh, we asked a lot of questions, man. Come on.
Yeah, that was like a puzzle. We put it together well.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
From PWF's War, Podcast Wrestling Fallout, the team, and all the loyal fans, we'd like to take a special thanks to David Finlay Jr. for making the show tonight. Hopefully we can interview him again down the road, maybe a year from now, see where he's gone. David, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're honored, humbled to have you here. Tell your dad we said hi. Big fans of his work as well. And we hope to see you again here on PWF's War.
I'd be happy to come back on. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. I'm honored that you guys came in and asked me to come on. I guess because still in my head, I'm just like, I'm just David, So when people actually ask me to do stuff like this, I'm like, oh, wow, they want me. But that really means a lot. Thank you so much for, supporting me as well. It means the world. It really does.
Yeah. No doubt about it, man. Big supporters of you. We've seen the potential, and we knew we had to have you on the show. So we're definitely looking forward to having you back again.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hopefully see you in WWE one day. So.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the show. Once again, you can subscribe to us, Podcast Wrestling Fallout on YouTube, PWF is War on Twitter, Podcast Wrestling Fallout on Facebook. Check us out, subscribe, share, spread the word. Once again, thank you, David Finlay, from the podcast team, the Arabian Wolf. We're out of here.
Yay.